Hi, I'm Patrick, and you're watching Patadendron. Welcome back to another video, and today I want to do another repot with me. The last one was messy, so maybe I can do a cleaner job today. I have 4 plants that I need to repot. I have this poor Pilea that has been needing to be repotted since yesterday. As you can see, it kind of fell. It totally fell. And I have this Aglaonema Pictum Tricolor crossbred with the Aglaonema Rotundum. So it has these really pretty pink veins from the Rotundum and the really cool tricolor print on the leaf from the Pictum Tricolor. So there's this. Also, from my birthday haul, the Xanadu from my sister. Look at all those roots. I would definitely say that she is ready. She's put out some baby leaves, so can't wait for her to get a new start on her life, her new life. And then my calathea rattlesnake. Okay, so I'm actually going to do the calathea first because the soil is the easiest to mix. All I did was mix the pre-existing groundswell soil that I have with a little bit more worm castings, as well as some sphagnum moss, because the pot that I'm using actually has a porous inside. So I'm just putting just a little bit of sphagnum moss in there to hold the moisture, because calatheas like that. And from what I've learned, or like from my experience, is that they're somewhat heavy feeders. So I added more worm castings because that's like a nice organic additive that would kind of be like a slow release fertilizer or food for the plant. So let's get started. Got this pot. Oh, so cute. I love that it came with the saucer. Got that today at Upland Nursery. If you haven't already seen my Upland Nursery tour, you should wait till I do another one, because I've got my camera settings figured out since then, and also this new mic. Look at that. So I knew it was time to repot this because it was starting to drink the water a little fast. So I have the questions. Okay. Okay, so first question is, what is an easy starter plant? You know, the best starter plant would definitely be a pothos. Any variety. I would say the jade, neon pothos is interesting. I love the color. And or like even like a marble queen or an enjoy if you want to get fancy. But yeah, pothos would be a good starter plant. It was our starter plant last year, and it's grown quite a bit since then. It's still one long vine, and we can't find the courage to snip it. We just like having that one long vine. Yes. Okay. So now I'm learning how to do stuff while talking. It's about time, I guess. Next question is, how important is the pot material? Terracotta, plastic, etc. Very good question, and I kind of already touched that a little bit. It's very important. The porousness of the material of the pot matters a lot, because if you you don't want to plant a plant that likes to stay kind of moist or a little bit more on the moist side in terracotta, because terracotta actually is very porous and will leach the water from the pot into the air. If you can kind of tell, terracotta gets darker when it's wet, and that shows that, you know, it's permeable, and it kind of will just wick away the water from the plant instead of the plant being able to drink the water. It'll just kind of dissipate into the air. I hope that kind of makes sense. So if you want, you can either look for a plastic pot for something like, say, a calathea. See, I tried, but I just didn't realize that the inside was also like that porous material. It wasn't glazed. So I'm hoping that the sphagnum will counteract that, as well as maybe like the glazing of the outside will keep it from, you know, dissipating outwards. Who knows? We'll see, right? But yeah, it does matter. Some plants like to stay more on the dry side, like philodendrons, and definitely like the aroids. They're epiphytes, so they take in their moisture from, I don't know, they like more airy, like a more airiness to the roots, because like orchids, they kind of just cling to bark or trees, and they'll use their aerial roots to climb up that while they seek for light. And we're not talking about pots anymore. So that is my calathea, lancifolia, and I'm gonna mix my aroid mix, and then we'll get to some more questions when I get back. Okay, next up we're gonna do my Aglaonema. So I got it, I'm gonna put it in this small terracotta pot from my research. Aglaonema like to kind of stay root bound. The roots like to stay a little bit more on the dry side, so I wanted to give it a good moisture wicking pot, as well as a good well draining soil. So what I do for my aroids, I mix the existing groundswell soil. I put in some fine orchid bark and also a little bit of horticultural charcoal, and some chunkier orchid bark to kind of create more of the aeration, because soil needs to have a lot more air than you'd think in it. And that will keep the soil from getting compacted. And I also put in some pumice. Pumice is like a natural stone that will drain it, as well as kind of hold the moisture. So I don't know if that makes any sense. It'll hold both the air and the moisture in it, which the plant will love. How about that? Okay, so I got this from the Peace, Love, and Happiness Club, and it came in like kind of like this mainly leca and orchid bark and soil mixture. So I've never actually really taken it out to check out the roots, so we're gonna do it together. All right. They're looking solid. It's not like a huge root system, and I really wasn't expecting it with it being in this small pot. But I do think that it's gonna appreciate less air, because I think it was very airy in there, and hopefully it'll like the mixture that I made for it. I'll just put some in the bottom. Oh yeah, next question. So the next question is, when is the right time to prune? So honestly, like, you can prune whenever you want, but obviously, like, not when the plant is still a baby, so you have to establish the plant a little bit longer. But you also want to prune when you find that your plant is getting a little too leggy. So say, you know, you have a vine or something like that, and you have way more stem than you do leaves, or you'd like the plant to look a little more full and lush, that is the right time to prune, because pruning will release a hormone within the plant to kind of build so when you prune, you cut off the tip, which is like the apical dominance of the plant. That is like the main guiding force of the plant, and it's like a linear growth pattern. And when you cut it, you take away its kind of like guiding light or guiding force, and it doesn't know what to do, so it releases that hormone in its body, and that actually stimulates growth from like other parts of the plant. Like, you know, it'll activate nodes and yeah. I was not ready for that kind of talk, but you know, that is when you could prune the plant. Honestly, whenever you want. So I gave you the long answer. Next question is, which houseplant am I most like? I hate to say it, but kind of maybe like my pink princess, because she's showy and likes humidity, and likes pink. I don't know. Oh, and also because the last few leaves that she's been putting out have been funky, and it's been some funky times, so. Okay. She's looking good. I like this pot. I got this at downtown at the LA Flower Market for pretty cheap. Like really cheap, I'm sure. And next, I want to do my Pilea Peperomiodes, or the Chinese money plant, or the UFO plant, or the pancake plant, or the friendship plant. I just think it's really cool looking. So sad. I just broke this leaf off answering the phone just now. Okay, next question. I like this. I hope you guys are enjoying this too. My questions or my answers, unfortunately, might not be the best, but I hope they're at least entertaining, because this is a new thing for me. And the next question is, how do you know when to replace soil? So you kind of know when to replace soil when you feel like you need to repot it. Some plants like to be root bound, and you won't repot it until you know that it's really time. And you'll kind of know that when the plant is drinking the water a lot faster than normal. So if you find that you have to water this, water your plant nonstop, it might be because her roots are pretty root bound in the pot, and there's not enough soil to hold the moisture for the plant to drink throughout the week, or however often you water. So that is one of the ways you know to change the soil out. Another way maybe would be if you had a really bad case of a pest outbreak. You definitely want to, change the soil out and give the plant some fresh soil, because a lot of times the pests will just stay or will live in the soil, and that's when it becomes a problem. But honestly, fungus gnats won't be a problem if you're not overwatering your plant. So I can do a special video on fungus gnats if you guys are dealing with that. Just, leave it in the comments. I love ideas for future videos. I thought this terracotta pot was so cute, and I thought it'd be really cute for this plant especially. So this plant likes to lean towards the light, and I made the mistake of waiting from it needing to be repotted yesterday. So I'm just going to turn the plant away from the light, so that, say the light's here, so that it will kind of encourage the growth back up to that. So if you have this plant, don't forget to turn it if you want that nice even look to it. And it's a cool looking plant, so that's why most people enjoy it is because of its look. Finally, I have this Xanadu from my sister. I'm going to give it the same aeroid mix that I've been using. I think I made just enough too, which is so cool. I hate having just a little bit left over because it's like, what am I going to do with that? It's not worth, shit. Here comes the mess. Okay, I forgot that I was gonna try adding this rooting powder to encourage more root growth. And it'll kind of help the plant transition too from its water roots to having some soil roots. It's just gonna take in its nutrients and water a different way, so it has to transition to that, and this will hopefully help. Just sprinkle a little on. I've never actually tried this rooting powder stuff, but it intrigued me. Okay. Wonder if this pot I chose for it is too small. I don't think so. I don't want to give it root rot, so. That's another thing. If you want to avoid root rot, try avoiding moving it into such a bigger pot. Like, just go up one step. Baby steps, you know? That way the soil doesn't hold too much moisture than it could drink, and that is how you get root rot. Okay, next question. Next question I'm kind of scared of. What is my most expensive plant? My most expensive plant is this guy. This is my baby. This is a Philodendron El Choco Red. And I love him so much. And my cheapest plant is my Pearls and Jade pothos, labeled as a Mandula pothos from Walmart for $2.98. I'm not going to say the cost of the other one. What is your hardest plant to care for? The hardest plant to care for me so far has been my Anthurium forgetii. It's such a diva, and it likes so much more humidity than my other plants. Even like my calatheas or calatheas, they are just fine. But I was so excited when my forgetii was pushing out a new leaf. I gave it a look every day, and you know, it knew I was excited. I told him every day. And as soon as it came out like looking like a shark had bitten a bite out of it. And I kept waiting. I'm like, is it gonna connect? Is there something wrong? No. It basically was just not enough humidity in the air, and the leaf came out kind of chewed up from emerging or unraveling or unfurling. There it is. So hopefully the next time it puts out a new leaf, which will probably be next year at the rate we're going, hopefully it'll be nice and full. But I've been working on its humidity. I have it near my humidifier, and it's got really prime, like nice west facing and a north facing window. So sorry, don't mind the dogs. Okay, and the next question is, what is my favorite soil? My favorite soil is definitely Fox Farms Ocean Forest. That is the one that I look for, but because I couldn't find it when I was looking for when I needed soil, all I could find was this groundswell stuff from my local hydroponics store. That is what I got. And you know, it's pretty comparable. It has pretty much the same materials used in it. I feel like Ocean Forest has a little bit more kelp in it, so that's, you know, one thing to note. And finally, my last question is, how do I make sure my plants don't rot? I have proper drainage and have repotted them. So you already have like most of the steps done. If you have proper drainage and you know your soil is also draining well, you want to make sure that you put it in not too big of a pot so that it won't rot, and also to just water it when it's dry. Don't stick to a watering schedule. I hear a lot of people saying like, I water my plants, it's watering day. Honestly, like every day is watering day for me because I have so many plants that they all drink water at different like paces. So don't go by the day of the week or how many watering every 7 days or whatever. Just use your judgment. By feeling it, you can also use a water, like a water meter or a moisture meter. That way you can have like a bit more, like one more tool other than your own finger. Or, you know, like if you feel your plants too, you kind of know how they weigh when they need watering versus when their pots are full of water. So, or like when the soil is full of water. So just using your judgment and watering it when your plants are dry. I like to wait for some of my plants to give me signs that they're actually thirsty. And that's another way of avoiding rot. So don't just blindly give your plants water. That is my one piece of advice to avoid rot. There we have it. These are the 4 newly rehomed, repotted babies. So I'm editing and I just realized that I forgot to add something kind of important. Huge thank you to all of you that asked me questions. I was so excited to answer all of them. And a special shout out to Disco Doll and Harry Hurst and It's All Electric on Instagram. Thank you so much and I love you guys. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I had so much fun repotting everything with you guys. If you want to see a future video on how I mix my soil, leave it in the comment section. I can show you how I mix my soil. And if you haven't already, you can find me on Instagram at Petadendron, just like this channel. You can find me there so that we can be plant friends. And if you like this video, or hopefully maybe you learned something or two things, go ahead and throw me a bone and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me, which I hope you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!